That blank page or screen can become a monstrously...
There's a key to getting started. Don't remember, you're not doing brain surgery here. You can always people can't get started is that they censor too much. Let's say you sit down at your desk, and the time you try to write it down, it doesn't come out right.
You're not even sure if you should begin your paper and attack the nearest person.
You can't think of writing that. Very rarely can you express. It's so important to think of writing as a process. Things are going to be, paper will gradually all come together.
Free writing is one of many ways of keeping you on track towards your destination, completion of your paper.
To do a free write for a short period of time, like 10, and write non-stop about whatever you need to write about. The only rule is that you must keep writing.
Think of anything to write.
Then you write.
When you're doing a free write, you don't need to worry.
Once you've got something written on the grammar, and don't...
Anytime you need some help getting your ideas on paper, you can do it. So let's go back to Nathan's assignment. We're asked to write about an environment in his past. He first needs to figure out what setting he's going to use.
That night, he sits down to do a free write. Here's what
He writes, I can't think of anything he could write about before finally arriving at his high school. He starts with the first place he was born.
You want to think about two things. The demands of the... Let's go back to Nathan's free write.
He thinks of a fishing spot, but it would fit. He bets not much research has been done of a fishing hole. Or a room at my home, but he decides not to because it's boring.
So Nathan's selecting his towards the end of the free write.
It's like racking my brain, you know, the videos, and then it
Nathan's picked high school as his environment.
Complete the first step of the assignment, you can go into the next steps of the assignment, do some more terms.
Now to consider the direction of your paper.
First, your purpose or objective in writing. Third, the format of the paper. These
The thesis statement takes is based on these three factors. Look at each of these terms. We'll use Nathan's...
Ask yourself, what do I plan to accomplish with this paper? To argue your position on the origins of the French Revolution, to research your family history and show people how fat were raised by wolves your ancestors.
If his assignment had asked him to describe a personal descriptive words to show his read paper, then he'd need to spend time researching the history of that. Nathan's methods and format.
To one's purpose in writing is being aware of one's audience.
Your audience is whoever reads your piece of writing. Your purpose to your opinion.
Macaroni and cheese tastes better.
Or inform them about entertain them.
It's important to remember that what you write about and how depends upon who your audience is.
Now imagine writing one letter. You would probably have some grammatical errors and a converse throughout it. With your teacher, you would probably leave out certain details that happened. You would have no grammatical, much more formal.
So you can see how his audience is his professor.
I would like some special tutor.
His audience is his professor. Let's go back to his free write about how like watch lots of movies and lots of stuff, though neither of these is a complete sentence, and Nathan would probably be counted off if he were with sentence fragments like these.
Yes, you are writing for a college professor, but...
Or some stodgy English teacher or first person. Other person.
Tomato grandma boy. Ask yourself, defending them with some of the language I choose. Well,
You just got to know your professor on it. On the other hand, if your professor looks on that part of your paper, and if you're not sure if you can sin or slang or whatever,
then get out of your dorm room and stew.
Just remember that to do that, you'll need to know your audience well and to your opinion.
So the first two factors, the format of your paper.
...is shaped by your assignment, as well as your purpose and how the paper should look, and how it should be arranged.
stuff like the page length, the size of the margins, your paper should use.
8-point New Courier font, 8 words.
Such as charts or photos.
Photos, but he could if he wanted to. He could maybe add it from in high school. Remember, even at the end of the assignment, you should spend the right format. Factors that will shape your paper. Format refers to what your writing should look like. You write about it.
Now, Nathan needs, so he's going to do another free do this, is to go back to the assignment and circle, underline, format of your assignment. You do this because it would really bite to have written a bunch of understood the assignment.
I wrote about cement. It was embarrassing.
We'll start with purpose. A good way to, what are keywords?
Well, there's please and thank. Actually, these are words you can use as a professor's looking for in the assignment.
For example, the main points about high school.
Assignment where he's marked up his assignment in several places. Define, boundaries of, or giving distinguishing characteristics to whatever's being.
Characteristics of.
To describe something, detailed account, or painting a verbal picture being described. And let me tell you,
So Nathan's going to be painting a verbal description of these groups to show
and raise any questions you might have. Second free write. Remember, in his second free about purpose, audience, and format.
Interact the way they do in this particular setting.
Let's go back to the assignment. Realize why people act the way they do. In his free write, he remembers there's lots and lots of cliques. Kids are beautiful, nerds are smart, some people are in the middle and don't fit into any subgroups by their behavior. So at this stage, he's made a thesis for his paper. He'll look at how these groups are.
His paper is starting to...
I am really excited to be in high school, but I wasn't too popular. Play a jock. I wasn't too big. An interesting experience.
Describe and analyze the different groups that form in high school.
His audience some slang to show what groups are like. He's going conversation and slang with academic style.
Purpose. Nathan puts an end to his looking at the format of the assignment.
Nathan writes groups to define the social dynamic and clear organization.
So length and structure of the paper. There are a couple.
Nathan must use the proper spelling, punctuation, and grammar.
Format.
What he'd like to write for this assignment. Once he had an idea of what he wanted, second free write. In this free write, he thought about make the setting he chose, high school. Second free write looked at his purpose, audience, and format for that related to them. By doing this, little time free writing can get you on the right. He'll have some ideas to be.
Before we actually begin to look at writing a first rough, important steps in the writing process, preliminary ideas, and using journals.
Getting feedback on your plans can be very useful, since others might catch flaws in your ideas.
Lavender ink is a bad idea.
Yeah. And just because you get feedback, you can't get feedback throughout the writing process. In fact, get continual feedback from others as your papers. We're going to talk even more about getting feedback a little tape once Nathan's written a rough draft.
There's a second thing that you do at this stage of the writing process that'll make your paper better and keep things purring like a kid. It can be very helpful to keep writing, or English composition classes will require you to keep a journal.
Don't get this confused with a diary. A diary, personal thoughts and experiences in.
In a writing or research of your progress and thoughts on a particular assignment or class.
Classy and like training wheels, a journal is there to help, as we said at the beginning of the class you're taking or the assignment given. A journal can help you in several ways.
For example, a particular article you've just read.
It's more effective than just reading it and underlining, since it helps.
Journals are also a good place to work out your ideas.
But a great way to figure out what you want to write is by journals are a lot like free writing in this way. Journals can make it easier on you when you start writing a draft of your writing, and it only takes a minute to write about.